Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the third instalment of my ultimate booking guide to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour step by step. Let's go because we have lots of ticket packages to talk about. Okay, so just before we start this video, you may notice that I'm in a different place filming today. This is actually my bedroom, and I just figured we might try and do some more filming here because I really like the backdrop and the lighting is actually quite good. This wall has changed quite dramatically since my first YouTube video all the way back in 2020 when I was doing unboxings, and that space over there has changed pretty much as well. But you're not here for that, you are here to learn about the different packages that you can book on the Warner Brothers Studio Tour website, which includes hotels and transfers. So let's get into that. First thing you need to do is make sure you are on the Warner Brothers Studio Tour website, and then we are going to go over to tickets, which will take us into the page, which if you've watched the last two installments you will recognise this page really well, which will take you here. Now go through the ticket, hotel and breakfast package and the ticket and transfer package. We're going to start with the ticket, hotel and breakfast package, which include overnight stays at hand-picked 3-star, 4-star and 5-star hotels, delicious hotel breakfast and last minute packages available. Holiday Extras provide their official short break packages, and we're going to go through now. Now I don't normally do it this way personally. There is a different way that I actually will find my hotels and things like that, but this is just a way that you can do it the way that they have through the official website. So if there is any problems, you can go through Holiday Extras or the Warner Brothers Studio Tour if you need to talk to them about anything. Okay, so you'll be brought onto this page here, which is the official Holiday Extras partner page for the Warner Brothers Studio Tour. To be able to book your stay or have a look, you need to first of all go to the check-in. Now I'm going to take it to like June the 12th. We'll go for the 12th because that's a Friday until June the 13th, and then we are going to choose our ticket date. Now you can decide which one. I'm going to put it for the Friday just because I reckon the Friday will have probably more availability. Weekends typically book up quicker, so we're going to go for the Friday. Also, if you're going on the Friday, it means that you can spend as much time as you want at the tour that day. You can obviously have more than one night. I'm just picking one night for the purpose of this. And then the time slot, let's say we try and get an early-ish one, so we're going to say 11:30. We could say 10, but I'm going to say 11:30. Then it has 2 adults, 2 children, and then you can select your the ages of your children. So let's just say 7 and 11, which are 2 magical numbers. And then you go to search. Now this should bring you through to different options. So here you have lots of different options. So you have the Leonardo Hotel London Watford, you have the Doubletree by Hilton Elstree, and lots of different manners. So it'll give you lots of different options of places that you can stay, and it will tell you roughly how far away from each place it is. Obviously the further out usually it's cheaper, but then again some of these aren't, because I know that this one is directly in London. Bloomsbury is in London itself, and you would have to get a train to get there. Out of all of these, I mean, I've never stayed in any of these myself, but the closest would be this one, so we're going to go with this one. It says that it's a 10-minute walk to Watford Junction Station, which is where you can get the Warner Brothers Studio Tour bus. All you need is either the ticket or a screenshot of the ticket to be able to get on. It is complimentary Eloy coffee during your stay, which just, I'm assuming just means you get coffee, and it's in the town centre location, so you can click show options. So you get the 1 night and 2 night offer. Now we're just going to go for the 1 night offer because I've only put 1 night in, which will take you through, and then it's a 4-star hotel. It gives you the address. You can then look at lots of different things. So it says the overview, it tells you all about it here. It tells you what your magical package includes, so your tickets to the studio tour, and then you can have a look and it will give you more information about your tickets. You can learn a little bit more about your breakfast, and then it will also tell you about if you want to extend the night to have another night. It also tells you about how you can get to the studio tour, so the options of getting there by car. Oh, I love that. I've just noticed it has a little broomstick. I love that. So it tells you about how to get there by car, how you can get a taxi service and how much they cost. So here is typically £11 to £14. How to go by rail, so how you can get from London into Watford, which is actually quite easy as long as there's no strikes going on. And then the free shuttle bus to get there, which isn't too far away, you are able to get to the Warner Brothers studio tour. It then gives you an overview of the hotel, everything that you might need to know and what you need to know. So you can have one per person of complimentary coffee during your stay. You get your comfy dream beds, free Wi-Fi. It's a prime location. Tells you about the car parking. This hotel doesn't actually offer on-site car parking, but it does have discounted parking about a 1 to 2 minute walk away in Sutton car park. Tells you kind of everything you need to know. It gives you an overview of the rooms, and it will tell you everything that is included, the different room types that you can get. It tells you all about your dining options and when you can get like food and drink, and like your times for your breakfast, the times for the bar. But it is in Watford, so you'll be able to get things like Pizza Hut, Domino's, McDonald's, KFC. Like there's so many different options. There's also restaurant options, and I don't believe this is probably too far from the shopping centre either. If it's not far from the station, then the station is pretty close to the shopping centre as well. Then it will show you it on a map down here. So the hotel, let me see if I can zoom this in. So this is where the hotel is, and that is where Warner Brothers is. Now if we zoom in, we should be able to see where it is. It is pretty close in comparison to the shopping centre. So this is the shopping centre over here, and this is the hotel. That is all the information that you would get about it. Now if you decided, yep, this is the one I wanted to book, you would click book now. It would bring you into this payment section, and again it tells you get a full English and continental breakfast. It tells you the check-in time and the check-out time. Now some hotels you can pay for early check-in, so the Premier Inn that I normally stay in, you can pay, I think it's like £10 to £15. It depends how many people in your room, what room time you get, and you can check in from 11 AM. You'd put in your email address, your name, and your title, your postcode, mobile number. You can choose PayPal or Visa. Normally you can only choose on when I do it, you can either choose, if you choose the flexible rates, then you can pay when you get there, or you can only usually pay with like your card. Then you put your card number and all those details in. Again, down the side it will tell you everything you need to know. It will tell you everything about the privacy policy and the package travel regulations, which again I would suggest reading, especially if you are from outside the United Kingdom. It will tell you like all your terms and conditions and everything you need to know, and then you would click pay now. So that's how you would then book one of those. Now I'm not actually going to book this, so what you might choose to do is you might want to have a look at the quad room and see a little bit more about it than you have. So you can go to the website. I have also put in what a quad room looks like, so I've got up some pictures. This is what the quad room is showing, which actually looks quite cute. It looks like you've got quite a big bed there and another one over there, so I guess as long as you guys don't mind sharing a bed, then that's absolutely fine. But you can also get more information about the hotel here, so it gives you sort of like all of the numbers that you can ring, all of the things that they have available. You can find out more about the hotel. It will tell you more. You can look at the pictures from the hotel, read more about their room time, check-in time and check-out time. There's just a lot more information than you get on the Warner Brothers linked partner website. But yeah, that's what that room is. Obviously the price will be different depending on the amount of people that go, the time of year you're going. If you're going in like school holidays, it's going to be far more expensive than outside the school holidays, but it can also be more expensive at the weekend than it is during the week. You can also, on the Warner Brothers website, book the ticket and transfer packages, which are done by Golden Tours. Now, I know quite a few people who have done Golden Tours in the past, and basically it just means that you get return travel from central London. You get to travel on a double-decker Harry Potter bus. You'll have probably seen those around in the adverts. You can get a free one from Watford Junction to the tour, but this one will specifically pick you up from different locations within central London and take you back again. There are also private transfer options that are available as well. So these are anywhere from £94. So if we check availability for that, so it's going to take us over to the Golden Tours website. So you've got your 3 different options. You've got just the general return transport, which will be on like a double-decker bus. You've got private returns, and then you have just a transport only, which again will be a double-decker Warner Brothers Studio Tour bus. So for the first one, you get the guaranteed entry. You don't get the digital guide on any of the 3. The second one, as you can see, is somebody who's going to be taking you in a private transfer, so just in like a regular car, there and back. The good thing about this one is that you won't be with anybody else. It will literally just be you guys with your private transfer. And then the last one is literally just a transfer. So if you don't want to buy the ticket, let's say you've already got tickets and you just want to transfer there and back, then that's what this one is. If you don't have tickets but you book this one, then you need to book a ticket from the website because you cannot get one included with this one. Currently this one's on sale, so a child is £40 instead of £71, and an adult is £45, which I'm not going to lie, that's actually not too bad. We're going to go for this one first, which does say likely to sell out because this one does come with a ticket. So this one is also dependent on how many tickets are on the website, because they won't be able to sell more than, I guess, their allotted amount. So if we view details, it gives us the different options. So you can go from Victoria or Baker Street or King's Cross. I'm not going to lie, if you were able to, a King's Cross departure would actually be quite cool because then you could go see Platform 9 3/4, the Platform 9 3/4 shop, and some Pancras and all the different like Harry Potter locations in that area. You might not be able to do this on the same day, but they do have Grimmauld Place, like a 10-minute walk from there, from King's Cross, but depending on the time you go, you might not have time to do it that day. But if you were around King's Cross for a couple of days, then you'd probably get to do it. It says duration of 7 hours. Now, I will come back to that, but it does say that you can get a flexible option. It gives you a little bit more information. As I said, it tells you what you get included. It gives you your departure points, so it tells you about the Victoria departure, and it's got what 3 words. So this is actually an app my uncle told me about, which basically you get 3 words and you can put them into this app and it will give you the exact locations. I'll leave the link to it and all the information below. I've not really used it that much, but it's actually something I am thinking about downloading and getting because I've heard it's really good. Then you've also got your Baker Street departure which is here. So if you click on here, it will take you so you can see where it is. Then it has a bit more of some notes. So it's telling you that you need to arrive at your scheduled time. The bus will depart on time and will not wait for latecomers. I'm guessing if you've got an issue, there's potentially a number that you can ring or message, but they are usually quite strict because of traffic and things like that. If you're going between Victoria and Baker Street, I think it goes to Victoria first, then Baker Street, and they're about 10 minutes away depending on traffic. You can get off earlier at Baker Street on the return home journey to Victoria, or you can get off at Victoria, whichever you choose. I'm guessing if you get on at Victoria, then you probably get like the first allotment of seats, rather than if you're at Baker Street. But again, it's going to be down to personal preference, what's available, and yeah, what's easiest for you to get to. It's important to note that there are no toilets on board, so you won't be able to do that, and you can get family tickets which include 2 adults and 2 children. So for the bus, 2 and under require a ticket, but they are free. 3 and 4 have a charge for transportation, but if you've got a child that's 4 and under, then they are free. At the Warner Brothers Studio Tour, you do still have to book them a ticket, so you do still have to say it. It's to do with like health and safety and numbers, so that they know roughly how many people they're going to be having in a day. It again shows you some highlights of things that you're going to see. It gives you some more information about the studio tour itself and tells you about all of the different things. Now, one thing I wanted to point out was this flexi return ticket. So it says if 4 hours in the studio tour doesn't sound like enough time, you can now book a flexi return ticket for travel on select dates. This allows you to hop aboard any return bus back to London subject to availability. Available for all departures until 12 p.m. The last bus departs back at 8 p.m. So that's something that you need to definitely make sure that you are aware of, because sometimes the studio tour doesn't actually close until 10 p.m. so you'll need to have a look on Golden Tours and see whether they do a later bus when the closing time is later, or whether it is an 8 p.m. tour. Then it tells you about the different features that you can go and see. You go back to the top and it says buy ticket. Now on here, this ticket includes the studio tour ticket and the travel ticket. So it will tell you that the adult tickets are 16 to 99, a child ticket is 5 to 15, the infant tickets are 3 to 4, and the baby tickets are 0 to 2. And then you can get family tickets, which includes 2 adults and 2 children. So we're just going to put it through for 2 adults, and we'll do 2 children, as I've already done 2 adults and 2 children on the hotels already. And then you can choose your dates that you want to go. So let's just go for the 13th of May, and these are the times. So as you can see, some of the slots are already sold out. So we're going to go for the 8:30 one. Then you hit continue, which takes you onto this page. Now you can choose where they pick you up. So you can either make your own. I don't know why you would make your own way to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour if you're doing return transport. Unless you just want the transport on the way back. I'm not sure. But we're going to go for London Victoria. It doesn't really matter which one you do at the end of the day. They're going to have seats for you if you've booked onto it. Again, it's got all of the allotted information down the bottom. You are then going to click continue, and when you go through, you'll put in all of your contact details, which I'm obviously not going to put in. Then you have to tick these boxes. So I agree to the cancellation terms for to request a refund, so it gives you the information that we've seen already again. Then it will tell you about the privacy policy. Then you can also decide if you want to sign up for Warner Brothers Studio Tour exclusive updates and latest offers. So you would put your information in here, just double check all of this, make sure you're happy with it, and then you click pay now. Again, I'm not going to pay now because I'm not booking this, but that is how you do it if you wanted that one. We're going to go back to the beginning and go through each of these. So we're now going to go through the private return transport, which I'm going to guess is exactly the same, just slightly different. So you can choose which type of vehicle you want. So you can get a saloon vehicle for 1 to 4 people, an executive vehicle, which is going to be an E-Class Mercedes or a 5 Series BMW or something similar, an MPV vehicle for 4 to 5 people, or a people carrier for 5 to 8 people. Again, it tells you what's included, so your private transportation and your entry ticket. Then it tells you the things that you need to know for the schedules. This service is only in these postcodes. So what you will need to do is, if you want to get it, you could probably find a postcode in one of these areas so that you're able to be picked off, especially if it's like central London. You don't have to be staying in a London hotel to book this, which is really good. You can just do it. They can take 2 hours to arrive to the tour. And if you've got any passengers under 16, they have to have at least 1 adult, which will be a person over the age of 18. Now we're just going to go for a saloon vehicle. We're going to add in 4 people like we've done before, and we're going to go again for the 13th of May. I know I did the other one as June, but yeah, we're just going for May for this one, and at 10 o'clock, and then we would add to cart. Don't forget, this does include your entry ticket as well in it, but if you want a digital guide, you'll have to buy that when you get there. And then you'll put in some details, so you'll put your accommodation and full address. So for example, even if you're not staying at a London hotel, you could choose to be picked up from a London hotel within one of those postcodes. Put in your phone number, your mobile number, whichever's the easiest contact, preferably the lead booker. And then you can also advise how many children their age is. Now I've just realised that's saying £1,000. That is purely because I've forgotten to take off the other one. So it's not £1,000. Please ignore that. This one won't be that. It will be £153 a person, which I think was like 600 and something pounds. 153, 75 times 4 is £615. So yeah, it won't be £1,000. I've just forgotten to take the other one out. Now the next one, you're just gonna have to. I've tried to get rid, but you're gonna have to excuse it. It won't go. So it's going to look like this is a very expensive trip, but obviously you're not actually going to be paying that. It's saying like over £1,000. I don't know if you can see it, if my screen recording cuts off before then. But the next one that you could pick is the Warner Brothers Studio Tour London, The Making of Harry Potter transport only. So this is a one-way or return transport, depending on the selection, with a Warner Brothers branded bus. Now this is saying they're currently on sale for £45 and £40 for adult and children. So you can choose whether you want to do a return trip from central London, a one-way trip from central London, or one-way from Warner Brothers Studio Tour. You might be staying in a hotel and you don't have a car, so you can get over on the free shuttle and then you want something to take you back to London, or you might just want a round trip. Again, this tells you the information that you need to know. So they have a daily schedule of operations. It gives you the places that you can be picked up. It tells you all of the times. So for a 9 AM entrance to the tour, they will pick you up at 7:30, or depart from 7:30, and check-in is from 7:15. So it will tell you everything you need to know down here. I'm not going to go through every single detail there, just because there are a lot. And then it will give you a little things that you need to know. So you do have to, as I've said before, have booked the Warner Brothers Studio Tour to be able to board the bus. If you don't have your tickets, they will not let you onto the bus, because they are making sure that the people who have the tickets are getting aboard. And then it gives you, again, all of the ticket prices. So we're going to do just a return, just to price it up. So you've got 2 adults, 2 children, and you're doing it for May the 13th. That would come out as £170. If you were to do that for a one-way from central London, it's got it for tomorrow, it's showing 135, but if we did May the 13th, again, still 135. As you can see, they get booked out quite quickly, especially those early slots. And if you just wanted a one-way home from the Warner Brothers Studio Tour back into London, Oh, they've still got some for today. I'm actually quite surprised they've got some for today. Then it is £135. I'm guessing it's exactly the same pretty much the whole time. I'm just going to double check, make sure that they're the same. Like, is it the same as school holidays? Yeah, it is the same in the school holidays. So it's about £135. Now, these prices are reflective of the discounted prices, so they may be slightly more expensive when you go. Just depends. But that is how you would book your transportation using Golden Tours. Now, you can actually get there via the train. There is a nice easy train route from Euston Station. You can go directly from Euston Station to Watford. There's a couple of different services. There's one that I believe takes around 40 minutes and one that takes around 20 minutes. You can use your Oyster card or contactless card for the majority of them. There is one, I can't remember off the top of my head, and I'll find it, and it will either be in this video or another video which I will link up here once it goes live, going through all the different ways you can get to Watford and the studio tour. But yeah, there are lots of different ways. You don't have to go through this. You can get the train. You can get the free shuttle if you're already in Watford. You can drive. You can get buses, just normal cabs or taxis. So there are so many different ways of getting there, but this is just the ones that they offer if you would like to book it as a package deal, which can be really helpful if you're coming internationally and you haven't done it before. For example, if I was going over to California or somewhere like that and they offered one of these packages and it was nice and easy and it meant that I could get there without having to worry, I'd probably pick it. I am trying some different hotels in the area, and then I can let you guys know what I think of them when I go. I'm also going to do like a whole accommodation video at some point once I've stayed in a few different places, and then showing you places that are on my kind of like bucket list that I'd like to stay, where you can stay in at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour. But that will be a separate video, otherwise this video is going to be so long, and I'm specifically showing you how you book the different packages from the Warner Brothers Studio Tour website. But that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you found it informative. It is quite complicated sometimes to book these things, especially if you've never been there before. So I hope this has helped if you were looking at potentially doing the hotel breakfast and ticket packages or the transfer packages. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn notification bell on so you are notified every single time I upload. If you would like to see any more videos, please click here. Make sure you give this video a like so that I know you really enjoyed it, and leave a comment below with a little heart that represents your Hogwarts house, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!